Today, we're going to talk about the homeless problem here in New York City. And I want to make sure that I get this out there. Now, I want to let you know right now I'm citing two sources: the Bowery Mission and Coalition for the Homeless. So, first I'm going to read to you from the Bowery Mission. And then I'm going to read to you from Coalition for the Homeless. First up, from the Bowery Mission. 8.5 million people live in this city. 58,000 homeless men, women, and children sleep in homeless shelters. And this may not be an accurate number because Coalition for the Homeless, doesn't believe it's right. 3,100 more people sleep on the streets and subways in the dead winter. Why do I bring up that number? Well, because we're in the holiday season almost. We're only one more week away from Thanksgiving, where more tourists come into the city. And when they see the homeless people, they're not going to get a very good first impression of how New York City is supposed to be. Now, on to Coalition for the Homeless. Because they really give the facts like it really, really is. And Mayor de Blasio has no clue about these statistics. Because he certainly never talks about it. So this is why I have to talk about it. In recent years, homeless rates in New York City have gotten to be way worse than the Great Depression. Just in September of this year, there were 61,931 homeless people, including 15,691 homeless families, with 24,148 homeless children sleeping each night in the New York City municipal shelter system. Families comprise all alone 3/4 of the homeless shelter population. In fiscal year 2016, more than 127,652 different homeless men, women, and children slept in the New York City municipal shelter system. This includes over 45,000 homeless children. In 2015, families entering a homeless shelter came from the few clustered zip codes in the poorest neighborhoods in the 5 boroughs. The number of homeless New Yorkers sleeping each night in municipal shelters is now 85% higher than it was in 2006. And the only reason why I bring up that statistic is because 2006 was when Mike Bloomberg just took his second term as mayor of New York City. That's a very shocking statistic. How we talk about how it's gotten higher in 10 years. Higher! No improvement. And research shows that Bill de Blasio's promise of affordable housing is the lack of it. True. They even highlight it. Primary cause of homelessness. They don't mention Bill de Blasio by name, but it's the truth actually. It really is. Because when Bill de Blasio was running for mayor in 2013, his main promise, because the Working Families Party endorsed him, was to make sure that they would get the affordable housing that every New Yorker needed. Well, there's a lack of it, according to the Coalition for the Homeless. Eviction, doubled up or severely overcrowded housing, domestic violence, which certainly domestic violence overall has been a problem, job loss, which I don't know how, considering that the unemployment rate is very reasonable, and hazardous housing conditions, which is a very reasonable cause of, homelessness. Homeless single adults have higher rates of severe mental illness, addiction disorders, which I bring up heroin and K2 for a reason, because that's what homelessness adults are dealing with, and other severe health problems. And the number that I brought up earlier from the Bowery Mission, according to the Coalition for the Homeless, there is no accurate measurement of New York City's unsheltered homeless population. And recent city surveys significantly underestimate the number of unsheltered homeless New Yorkers. So basically, the number that I gave earlier from the Bowery may not have been right in the first place. So please keep that in mind in terms of the season that we're entering exactly in 1 week, the holiday season. And my orthodontist, believe it or not, brought this up. She told me. The large majority of street homeless New Yorkers are people living with mental illness or other severe health problems. It is so sad that here in New York City, we do not have enough services overall to help the mentally ill. It's true. You want good mental health service? You know where you're going to have to go in the state of New York to get the best? Believe it or not, it's Suffolk County. Because I know a friend who met the Suffolk County executive. His name is Steve Ballone, by the way. Really great guy. Even though he's a Democrat. Steve Ballone actually realizes this problem. And people are coming to his county because of this highlighted thing from the Coalition for the Homeless. That's why I bring him up in this video. Now, let's play the race card. Sorry for doing that, but I have to at this point. African American and Latino New Yorkers are disproportionately affected by homelessness. 58% of New York City homeless shelter residents are African American, 31% are Latino, 7% are white, and less than 1% are Asian American, and 3% are an unknown race and ethnicity. So, that's just basic facts I'm going to get into with everybody. Because if I go into it more, that's going to be even more annoying and more angry for other people watching this video. You see, Bill de Blasio doesn't want to Google the problem. And yet I want to do it. And yet I want to make a video about it because America doesn't understand how broken New York City is. It is so sad. It really, really is. So, just to summarize, this problem has gotten worse. And Bill de Blasio keeps making it even more worse. He is clueless in terms of how he doesn't understand this problem. And that is why today I had to bring up basic facts from the Bowery Mission and, more importantly, Coalition for the Homeless. Which, in case you guys want to see it for yourself, in case I'm not lying, I will put those links in the description below. So that you guys don't think I'm lying. Because I am glad, and if Coalition for the Homeless New York City is watching this, I am glad that Coalition for the Homeless brought up September of this year. Because certainly I've seen it in September of this year when I go to Manhattan. And it's just the fact that nobody wants to talk about it, and yet I wanted to talk about it. So, that's how I summarize it up in the end. Next week, we are going to be talking about the NYPD overall under Bill de Blasio, and how since eliminating stop and frisk, New York City has actually become dangerous. That I will talk to you about next week. But before I go, comment below if you know somebody who is homeless, or if the homeless population is affecting you in some sort of way. It's affecting me because, as I said earlier, I've actually seen the homeless in Manhattan myself. So, yeah, that's how I'm going to end the video on that note. Till next time, guys, take care.